What's up, gang? I'm just really digging this tone. I got my Shabbat, I got the Jose, I've got a 2290, and I'm gonna show you 5 hot licks from Dann Huff's new album. Forgive me for distilling this lovely piece of art down to hot licks, but you know, we're guitar players. So the thing to take away from this is not just the licks, but it's like, how can you put some of this into your playing? And of course, it's fun to steal other people's hot licks. Make sure you check out Dann Huff's new album. I mean, that's number one. They have printed vinyl and CDs, and once those are gone, they're not doing any more. So I don't even know if you could stream the album or anything like that. So if you want to hear the album, you got to go here to Baked Alaska Records and pick up the album, as you should. The first lick I want to show you isn't really a lick, but it's a style of playing that's a big part of Dan's lead playing on this album, because he's replacing the lead vocal, and you need the guitar to be as expressive as possible. So we're talking about quarter step bends. Now, a quarter step bend or less is that little just tweak of the string keeps the soul moving of the note, so it's not just like this stiff da-dee da-da. You get these vocal inflections in the guitar line without having to be so on a note. It just comes out more vocal. The first real licky lick I'm going to show you is from a greasy tune called Dixie Jive, and this has those quarter step bends. It also has these big, beautiful bends, and it's this intervallic treatment of the minor pentatonic with Dorian notes thrown in. It always stands out to me as a Dann Huff thing when I hear this. So if you think of this as that G minor pentatonic box, 13th fret, and then you have the Dorian scale superimposed on top. You've got your pentatonic box. Right? Now, the Dorian notes, if you just make this shape with your finger, they fall right into place. So that's just a visualization thing. Dan kicks this off breathing life into this, the minor third here, and then it launches off into these beautiful bend intervals. Those are just so nice. And then following it off with more intervals. That's following the minor pentatonic box really easy. Slight miss there, but it doesn't matter, because, you know, you just... It's such a cool sound to add to your arsenal. Thanks, Dan. This next lick is from Southern Synchronicity, from this album, and it is easy to play and will make you sound like a chromatic, awesome wizard here. Let me show you. So now we're looking at the E minor pentatonic box at the 12th fret, and we know this lick, right? Right? That's a good old Jimmy Page one right there. Now, love that. And then you just start going down. Right? You can do so much with this. But back to what Dan did. Now he's already has these descending intervals. And then he adds this little chromatic bit. And then back into what your ear recognizes as like a normal blues lick. So he starts off with something you recognize, puts it in the salad Twizzler, and then it comes back as something you recognize. It's a great way to put in your weird chromatic stuff and then make it still really palatable. The next lick I'm going to show you from Dann Huff's When Words Aren't Enough album is from Indefatigable Strut. I think I'm pronouncing that. I've never heard that word before. I think it means like righteous strut. And this is where things start to get harder because Dan has this cool ability to break up the rhythmic patterns that he's doing. You can do something like, right? Totally fine and a little predictable. So Dan doesn't do that. He manages a way to fit in like groups of 5 into places that you're expecting like a group of 6 or, you know, take this lick. It has this cool descending sort of waterfall feeling. And there's a couple really interesting things about it. So there's a group of 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Group of 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's a group of 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he throws in this very unusual blue note, and I think this is what it is. Just it's kind of like pattern, glistening, and then like a punch in the face. Like, oh, okay, wow. But the way he's got these great fingers that can create the glistening waterfall effect and then punch you with that like ugly rock notes that really wake you up. And this is happening over a B flat mixolydian, so it's like a kind of strut, we'll call it, and he's moving between that B flat and the C. So this is in that B flat section, and he starts with his little walk up. And he gets back into that major third interval off of it, which makes you know, like, oh, and now I've moved over to the next chord. So don't worry about how it's picked. You can pick the whole thing if you can. You could pull off whatever it takes. I'm doing a combination of picking and economy picking in there. And I'll economy pick between the we're going to call this the 5th string and 6th string, or is that the 1st and 2nd string? I never remember, but the B and the E string. So straight down. Because I'm not really a fast picker, so I have to find every way to cheat it. First starting with a pull-up. And I've noticed Dan tends to keep his hand pretty much in a 4-finger grip. He uses his pinky a bunch. I try to get out of that as much as possible to use my stronger 3 fingers. But grabs that with his pinky. Which is how he ends it. I don't think I played that right. It's a cool one. All right, we're back to Dixie Jive, and this one is a legato nightmare. No, it's so awesome, and he pulls it off so wonderfully legato-y. So, again, we're back into this G Dorian. So this is maybe even harder than it sounds. I mean, I didn't do it justice, I know. But this is in the little frets up here, and it's quite difficult, but it's got this beautiful, the chromatic notes, those jazzy notes that Dan throws in. So you're coming on hard. I don't think it's a bend up, I think it's with a bar. And he's, on the record, he's getting a beautiful sustain. Sounds like he could have gone on forever. And then he's rolling down chromatically, pulling off da-da-da-da. And it's just so even, man. And hammering back up. Now he's back into the G Dorian. But it's all so smooth. Again, Dan just doesn't do these like super consistent rhythmic groupings. So you have to really, what do you have to do? I don't know, you have to be better. But listen how at slow speed, it tells a story. I mean, that's so musical. This lick is the end of the solo from Giant Free Fall, and it's gonna get hard. This is where things get difficult. Again, because Dan has a really, how do you even say it? Like, non-symmetrical fast lines. He doesn't just do da 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 da, which is so much easier. He's got groups of, he starts with groups of 3 and then it switches to like a more 4 feel, and it's just really hard to nail, especially up to speed. So we'll see what happens here. Almost. Well, let's just get into what it is. He's starting off on this E minor arpeggio. That's a 7th arpeggio. And he's throwing in the Dorian note, which is a major 6th. Right, and it kind of sounds out if you just, because you have major and minor tonalities kind of rubbing, but that's what Dorian is, and it's a really cool sound. And listen how just beautiful this is. It's such a gorgeous sound. Dan goes, I don't think he sweeps. I don't think Dan's a sweeper. And I think he's incorporating some pull-offs in there too. So I hear this as a dun 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 dun, these triplets rolling, right? And then of course, instead of continuing that, Dan even throws in a double note on the E. So if you hit that, that's where I would start practicing. But you have to double pick this. I've never seen Dan do this kind of thing, like stretch his hand out like this, but maybe he's just able to switch his position really fast. That's how I'm to this next part of the lick. So the next part, the higher part, is a run unto itself, I feel like. This is the section where Dan brings in the minor sixth note. Instead of feeling Dorian there, it feels Aeolian. And then he turns around and goes straight back to Dorian, so it ends up just being a cool chromatic thing. Once again, he doesn't use symmetrical groups, and I think he just has the ability to, it's called rubato, playing rubato, which is you're just kind of flowing, and he just can throw in groups, and then he sees the finish line, he's like, and he lands on it. Sometimes it sounds like that. I would love to know if that is what he's doing, or if he knows exactly the algebra that's going on. It was a group of three, group of five, group of three, you know. So slowly, here's the whole lick. I'll try and play it fast one more time. It's something to practice, gang. So that is your licks from Dan Huff's new album, When Words Aren't Enough. I'll put some links below, and if you like this, hit subscribe, and let's go practice our Dorian licks, huh? See you later.